Howdy, guys. Welcome to the live watch party for episode 4 of the Reindeer games. We're halfway there. Isn't that amazing? Welcome aboard to all of y'all. Yeah. Brian saying, howdy, stranger. It's been a while. 10 minutes or so. Catching my breath and ready for another episode. So we're getting a little bit of a preview or a review of what happened. Basically, we got the alliance forming between Frankie and Brittany and Nicole. I forgot they had that little mini stacking competition. It showed them stacking the gingerbread cookies. And Nicole winning. She's got a win under her belt now. Derek X as the elf. Now, we've got him, I think, for tonight. And then that should be it. I think they take 2 turns. Each one has 2 turns. And I think Taylor's, not Taylor. Who's next? Tiffany. I think Tiffany is next, if I recall. Frankie won. The first I love that competition, the hamster wheel. What a great competition. Because you don't know if you want to go next or you want to hold off. We talked about it all last week. Xavier took care of business. Brittany took care of business. And Danielle, not so much. Danielle had a hard time. Why was it so hard to turn a hamster wheel? Just didn't quite have it figured out. All right, let's see. I'm seeing all y'all's names popping up. I love having y'all on here with me. It's so much fun. All right, let's see. I'm curious to see what they're going to wear this evening. Hanging on to a candy cane. Brittany already lost her dignity on slippery wiener. Now a sticky candy cane's next, I guess. All right, and now we get the intro. Welcome to all of y'all on board for episode 4. Yeah, it's funny. I almost didn't do the first episode. Never tried this before, but had so much fun. And here we are. After this, we've only got 2 episodes to go. Quick. All right. My holiday spectacle is only halfway. There's only 6 people left in this house. Surprise awaits on this merry day. Prepare for duos galore and one more hint. A dramatic ending with twisting peppermints. We know what that is. For those of you who didn't see, they aren't watching. 2 giant candy canes that are rotating around, and I'm sure they're going to have to hold on to them. All right. Now they're all wearing Christmas pajamas. And Xavier's got a little onesie looking thing. Frankie talking about protecting his 2 allies, Brittany and Nicole. And then Josh talking about him and Taylor and Xavier working together. Both sides sticking together, but we know the couples competition may be coming up, which may change that up just a little bit, right? My Ass's Dragon says because Danielle weighs 15 pounds, 115 pounds. That may make it a little bit tougher to turn that wheel. Hot chocolate. That makes me thirsty. Brittany talking to Taylor and Nicole. Guys, we've only got 2 guys left. We've never seen the Women's Alliance work in a regular season reindeer games? Maybe. No, I said 2 guys. There's 3 guys left. It's 3 and 3. Sorry about that. Frankie, Xavier, and Josh. Is Frankie's beard getting longer? It's like a regular old ho, isn't he? Yeah, 3 guys. Thank you, Karen. Frankie, Josh, and X. Yeah. Judy Coletta saying, I just hope regular Big Brother will learn something from reindeer games and they speed up the game. Yeah, I agree with that. All right, the worst news I could have received today. Derek is showing up with the Naughty Nice challenge. Derek saying I had a meeting set with the chillest pop star in the North Pole, Jill Frost. Only when I arrived, she had disappeared. Someone had taken her. Who would do such a thing? Search the lodge for any clues. Figure out who took the holiday starlet. First one correctly named the criminal took her will not only make the Frosties happy, but will be rewarded with the naughty nice power. So somehow looking for clues. You got to win this challenge. If it means that you get to pick who's going to be in teams for the next round or couples, you got to win this one. Such a huge one. And Frankie's saying he wants to win it, even if it does come with a bit of a curse. And here they go. A lot less rooms to look in now that they've got those bedrooms shut down. All right, we've got Josh going into, I can't keep track where they're going nowadays. They're upstairs looking in the HOH room. Feathers all over the sink in the bathroom, Taylor's discovering. Feathers. Who would be Feathers? They couldn't find a onesie long enough for X's legs, so they cut his off. Karen saying, it's pretty funny. All right, we're seeing pictures of mugshots of different deer. Prowler, Stupid, Lurker, Siren. So, can you use these? Oh, gray hair. Oh, I say they look like feathers to me. But maybe it is hair. So does that mean the suspect is old? This is like a game of what do they call it, where you pick the person or whatever. Reindeer collars that Xavier's noticed. And every mugshot, there's 8 different mugshots of 8 different deer. And he's thinking the reindeer with the blue is the culprit. Oh, and he's looking at different, not fingerprints, but hoof prints on each one. All right. Xavier's the first one saying Siren. Taylor's thinking Lurker. And again, it's all trying to figure out by these clues, process of elimination, the color of their collars, their hoof prints, gray hair versus other color hair. And Josh thinking Stupid or Slasher, reindeer names. They all have little bits of hair on their head, so I guess that's where the gray hair comes from. Brittany's picked Siren, but didn't Taylor already pick Siren? Oh, and Josh is seeing footprints on is that the DR room door? A door. And he thinks it's Slasher. Josh thinks he's got it. Who did Xavier pick? I can't remember what Xavier's choice was. Nicole's picked Stupid. I think that's the first person who's guessed Stupid. And Frankie's picked Slasher. I thought someone else maybe had picked Slasher. Let's see. And Josh has picked Slasher. All right, let's see who's winning. Derek explaining why some were eliminated. Collars, gray hair. It comes down to Nixon, Slasher, or Meteor. Well, no one picked Nixon or Meteor. Slasher's it. So who's the first one to pick Slasher? Ma saying Slasher. Yep, yeah, that's it. I don't know if Josh was the first one to say Slasher, though. Frankie gets another one. Poor Josh. Josh just can't win one of these challenges. He thought he had it. Am I still with y'all guys? I see a couple of people saying it. What happened? It stopped. Hopefully you're doing well. It's the biggest Frosty. Please welcome Jill freaking Frost, Derek has said. All right, we get a little concert from Jill Frost. Is that someone we're supposed to know or just a performer? Mm-hmm. I don't think that's Josh is saying she's hot. I think it's just the opposite. I think she's cool, right? Frost and all that. She's dancing, blowing kisses. Singing jingle bells. Who's Deb saying who's the host? Derek X is the host. The elf, I guess that's about the host, right? All right, Frankie's won the power. Let's see. It'll give him an upcoming advantage in the Jingle Bell Brawl, as well as a power to give out a disadvantage in same challenge. Anoe saying, was it Jill Frost? Yes, it was Jill Frost. I don't know who that was in terms of, it wasn't Ariana Grande or anything, but all right, so that's not all. Frank will be putting one of the competing duos on the naughty list, giving them a disadvantage. He gets to decide who to penalize. So Frankie gets to pick his partner, which we thought maybe was going to be the case. Who does he pick? Does he pick Xavier? Does he pick Brittany? Or if he picks Xavier, they aren't necessarily in the same alliance, but then does that provide protection because no one wants to put him up if it means also putting Xavier up? Or do you go with a woman so that if there's a women's alliance, you've got a little more protection, right? There's the rub. And do you pick someone that you think you've got the best chance to win with, but you don't know what the competition is? I think Xavier or Brittany would be my pick. Maybe. I think. We'll see. We'll find out. What do y'all think? Yeah, congratulations, Frankie. Colleen is saying. Ma saying Frankie's keeping my draft safe. Frankie's won a few, right? Frankie's won a few. Nicole has won one. Taylor hasn't won one yet, has she? Neither has Josh. Xavier's won one. I know he won the puzzle that saved him. Did he win a comp before that? He goes so fast. Karen saying go with Brittany. I could see that. And then you have protection from the women's side, supposedly. You just got to worry about the other side of the alliance if you do that. Colleen is saying picks Josh, maybe. I could see that. Now, could you pick a female, a woman from the other alliance, which would basically be Taylor, right? Yeah, if you pick Taylor, now you've got protection from both the women and the other side of the alliance, which may give you some coverage. You could consider doing that. I certainly don't see Frankie and Taylor's having worked together closely so far, but Big Brother challenges make for strange, I was going to say bed partners. That doesn't sound right, but you know what I mean, right? You could go with Taylor just as an off the wall kind of choice. You do that, it's not going to make it seem like you're so tight with Nicole and Brittany. Now, did Nicole and Brittany get upset if you do that? I don't know. We'll see. Anoe is saying, could he sabotage someone not in his alliance by playing with them? Yeah, I think he could. I think sabotage or protect himself and the other person as well. If he picks someone from the other alliance and it does come down to having to pick someone to go to the final competition, Nicole and Brittany may not pick, say, Taylor to go if it means that Frankie's going as well. They would probably, if you then had maybe Xavier and and Josh together, then send those two because that doesn't affect their alliance. Yeah, I sabotage or protection, either one. I could maybe see that happen, Annoy. It's interesting. Karen's saying if he knew it was like a Bronco challenge, it would make picking easier, unless that's going to be the final challenge. And that's a good point. The fact that we only saw 2 candy canes kind of makes me think that it's the final challenge, but you could have 2 people holding on to each of those. That look like small enough candy canes, though, that you just have. I kind of think that may be the final comp, but we're getting ready to find out because here we go again. That's going to be a fun comp if you know your game's riding on it, right? I think whoever wins will pick a team to go to Santa's Showdown. Frankie's saying, or Brittany's saying. So Frankie talked about that he gets to pick his teammate. And he's thinking the losing pair is going to go Santa Showdown, as we talked about a little bit earlier. And his true allegiance is to Nicole and Brittany, which we know. So he doesn't want to put either one of them on his team. So go with someone on the other alliance. Oh, but he's got a good point. He also wants to have on his team someone he thinks he can beat in case his duo is the losing duo and has to go to that final showdown. Oh, interesting extra little thing to consider. All right. Frankie has won. He's getting ready to make his announcement. Choosing anyone he wants. So he's not going to pick Xavier because he wants to be able to beat someone. Taylor. I bet he picks Taylor. And Taylor saying she does not want to be partnered up with Frankie. Well, let's see. I think he's picking her. We'll see. Yay, pick Taylor. He's got protection. I think he's got protection from the women and from the other alliance as well. Which means, do you get Nicole and Brittany together against Xavier and Josh? Okay, so the last 4 get to pick however they want to do it. If Nicole partners up with someone that's not in her line, in other words, if Brittany and Nicole don't match up, then that means that the showdown at the very end, no matter what, is going to have one person from each alliance. And now Taylor is going to make sure she wins, which means that Frankie's safe. All right, let's see how they pair up, because they didn't really announce that. They just said they have to figure out how they're going to pair up. Good move, Frankie. Anna is saying, yeah, I think you're right. Xavier and Josh saying that they want to mix it up, go with the girls, I guess. Pair up with them. Because Xavier and Josh don't want to compete against each other in that showdown. So who's considered a stronger competitor, Brittany or Nicole, when it comes to whatever competitions they may have? I don't know. And Nicole and Brittany saying they want to work together. They want to have the 2 women working together. Xavier and Josh, not so much. And Nicole noticing that there's something a little weird going on. Brittany wants to work with Josh, but she's worried because they're pushing it so hard. So the guys are wanting to each have a woman they're competing with. Is that because they think they can beat them in the final challenge? I think so. And that may be why the two girls are not wanting that, because of the hopes that they could win and send Xavier and Josh to the final. And the guys went out. So Nicole and Xavier, Josh and Brittany, and Taylor and Frankie. All right. Well, I'm cheering for Josh and Brittany in this competition. Now, Nicole has to be careful, because I would be worried if I was competing against Xavier in that final showdown. If I'm Xavier, on the other hand, is he gutsy enough to throw this competition so that he can send someone from the other alliance home? I don't think so, only because no matter what, you're going to get someone from the other alliance competing. It's Xavier doesn't need to throw it, because if he wins it, then you'll either have Josh versus Brittany, or you'll have Taylor versus Frankie. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting, though. So we've got, no matter what, the final showdown is going to have one person from each of these two alliances, which is going to do a lot to maybe control or see who has the power going into the next episode. All right, let's see. Who did Frankie pick? Brenda's saying Taylor. Ma's point is Taylor. Yep. All right, let's see. Frankie making moves. I'm telling you, Frankie, maybe of all the people that have ever played Big Brother, Frankie probably would not have been in my top 9 to come back for Reindeer games, but he's definitely shown that he deserves a spot with his gameplay so far. So I take it back, Frankie, if you're watching this on I was gonna say on replay, it's all pre-filmed. So Frankie, if you're out there watching our recap, you're doing pretty good. I'm pretty impressed with the moves you're making so far. Congrats, my friend. So far, so good. All right, let's see. Rooting for Brittany and Josh. Yeah, you and me both, Edge. I think a few people are. Let's see. What would be the most dramatic in terms of two people competing at the end? Taylor versus Frankie. Seeing one of those two go home would be quite the drama. Seeing Nicole and Xavier going home, yeah, okay. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see what kind of challenge it is. And what if it is Brittany hanging onto a candy cane pole for her life after so much jokes made about her very first competition ever, her first season, having to hang on to the giant hot dog weenie. And now here she is, probably the last competition potentially of her Big Brother career, is holding on to a candy cane peppermint. So it just seems almost a little karma in there, huh? All right, let's see. How does the Final Four work? All right, Edge, I think the way the Final Four works, which we'll have on the last episode, is, let's see if I can remember it. I think instead of winning advantages, I feel like you work your way, like maybe you're eliminated. Like the first competition, and I could be wrong on this, but I feel like maybe the first competition eliminates one person, the second competition eliminates the other. So basically it decides who the final two to compete are. Seems like I read something along those lines, but if I'm wrong, y'all correct me. All right, so here's the competition. It is not the candy cane, so we'll be seeing that at the very end. We got a couple of big old sleds. They're coming out in tennis shoes. I'm trying to see if this is the backyard or it's an alternate location. This could be an alternate location. Wreaking havoc on the perfectly packed sleighs. Oh, now the presents are scattered around the village. Need you to gather the gifts that match your sleigh and repack them. Okay, it's a puzzle competition. There's a lot of giant puzzle pieces, all 2 foot by 1 foot by 3 foot, things like that. It's like a giant Tetris puzzle. They have to figure out how to put these pieces back in the sled so that it fits all nice and square and compact. Frankie, because he won the naughty nice power, he gets to disadvantage one of the other duos by freezing them for some period of time, right? Oh, at any point during the challenge, he can use Christmas magic to name a team. So he gets to do it after he sees maybe who's ahead or not. Ooh, frozen for 45 seconds. Used once. So he can wait right until the end before making his call about who he wants to freeze. So does he pick a team that's about to win to make sure that he potentially wins? Or does he pick the team that he wants to go up to in the challenge and freeze them to make sure they lose, even if it means he doesn't win? And I think at this point in time, you just want to win. I think Xavier's pretty good at these puzzles, but now you got to figure out who works best together. It isn't just a single person working the puzzle. These are two people. Would you have one person bringing the gifts over and someone else trying to figure out how to sort them? You got to communicate. All right. Taylor actually looking pretty good, her and Frankie. Let's see. Kennedy Franklin saying, not watching live. Who is nice and who's naughty? Oh, okay, Kennedy. Nice is Frankie, and he picked Taylor to be on his team, a couples challenge. So she's kind of on the nice list as well. On the naughty list, we don't know yet. He gets to pick one team during this competition and freeze them for 45 seconds. So we don't know who has the disadvantage yet. He's going to wait and see who's doing best or doing worse and freeze them. So we don't know. All right, Frankie just froze X and Nicole, Xavier and Nicole. And so they have to wait for 45 seconds. Judy Coletta saying, I'm not sure the losing team is going to showdown. It might be any of the four. You could be right. In fact, I think you probably are. Didn't they say the winning team gets to decide who goes to the showdown? So forget what I said. It's all about freezing the person who's getting ready to win, so Frankie and Taylor can catch up, which is what they're trying to do right now. He just mentioned that. All right, they're back in action. So 45 seconds goes pretty quick. Nicole not thinking their chances are that great. Yeah, Ma, you're correct. Frankie's on the nice list. Nicole and Xavier were now on the naughty list, being frozen for 45 seconds. Yeah, winning team picks the team to go head to head. All right, you're right, Brian and Judy both missed that. Thank you. I want to see Josh solving this puzzle. They aren't showing him a whole lot, are they? It really looks like this is a competition between Frankie and Taylor or Xavier and Nicole. Yeah, Josh and Brittany maybe not so far along. Of course, having said that, Xavier and Nicole are not looking nearly as far along as I thought they were. It sure looks like Taylor and Frankie are about to win this thing, and there you go. All right, that's it. Taylor and Frankie. They were targeting each other, but funny how these couples, these duos work out. Now, how do they decide who they want to put up? Maybe it's easier to reach a consensus since either of the two teams has one from each alliance, as opposed to if they were picking between two from the same alliance. You know what I mean? So let's see. Who would Frankie rather get rid of? I think he'd rather see Josh and Brittany on the block. Would Taylor feel the same way? Probably. I feel like maybe she would feel more comfortable with Xavier. Maybe. Xavier's a hard target on down the road, though. You big meatball. You're right. You're right, Colleen. You're right, Ma. Oh, little bit of a twist. Taylor gets to pick, Frankie gets to pick someone from either duo, and then Taylor picks someone from the other duo to go head to head. So Frankie's going to pick either Xavier or Josh. And then Taylor will pick Nicole or Brittany. Oh, and they're picking from a hat. Ooh. Green and red. Oh, so they each. So Frankie has to choose between Josh or Brittany. And Taylor chooses between X and Nicole. So you think Nicole and Josh going up against each other? Let's see. Do you do that, or do you protect the women, or do you protect the 3-person alliance? And that's what Taylor's recognizing. She's going to have to either break the women's alliance or the 3-person alliance that she's got. And Frankie's basically facing the same thing. All right, so it gets a little interesting. Which is the most important alliance at the end of the day? The only concern, if I'm Taylor, the only concern I have is that her alliance right now is with Josh and Xavier. And when it comes down to the end and it's about competitions, I'd be a lot more worried about my capability of beating Xavier as opposed to my capability of beating Nicole and Brittany in a final competition. So if I'm Taylor, maybe I'm going with the women, but does she think that she can trust the women? And no slight against Brittany or Nicole, but those two are on a different alliance. So she goes with the women, then suddenly she's outnumbered by the 2 girls from the other alliance. It's a tough one. On the other hand, Frankie, if he goes with either Josh or Xavier, or Josh or Brittany, I think for him, he's going to put Josh up. I think it's a lot easier decision from Frankie's standpoint. Say that. Let me think about it. Oh, what do y'all think? I think he probably picks Josh. Yeah, I think he's going to protect the 2 women. But Taylor maybe has a little bit tougher decision. Monty's saying, I hope X leaves. He may. He's had to fight for his life before. We'll find out. Now, of those 4 left, who's going to do the best holding on to those candy canes? I don't see Josh doing great on the candy canes. I don't know that I see Xavier doing fantastic. I kind of see the 2 women maybe having a little bit of an advantage. And I don't know why I think that. You can wrap your arms around and hold on pretty tight, but it just seems like sometimes smaller is better on some of these. It certainly wasn't my case. My strength was not these endurance hanging on to things like this. All right. Taylor's not girl's girl. Monty King is saying that's true. You're right based on her season. But on the other hand, do you want to compete against Xavier to see who's going to win that $100,000? I don't know. She's got a tough decision either way. Brian's saying, I think Taylor has Nicole's back. Yeah, that very well could be. Taylor's been wanting to send the strongest home, which would maybe be Xavier. Like I said, Josh versus X. Yeah, I could see that, Judy. That's two of the guys. I could see that. We will find out here in just a second. Karen's saying, I think Taylor's going to send Nicole. I could see that. And Frankie will send Josh. I'm leaning more towards your second pick. Frankie sending Josh. Taylor sending Nicole. You're right, Monty. She's not a girl's girl. Maybe that alliance isn't quite as strong as the 3-person with Xavier and Josh. And we got to remember, if this was the episode right before the final, then maybe she's more inclined to send Xavier out the door. The fact that we have one more episode between now and the final episode, she may feel more comfortable that Xavier has one more round that he can protect her before something happens. So I'm starting to reevaluate a little bit. And she kind of had Monty during her season that's kind of, standing alongside him to provide a little bit of protection, a little bit of a target for her even. So maybe we could see something somewhat similar with Xavier. We'll find out. We'll see. Marilyn's saying she'd be better off to send X because he'd be harder to win against the end. You're right. And if it was closer to the final, episode 5, I think that would carry more weight. Now, we'll see. Karen saying, do Frankie and Taylor have to choose independently of each other? They don't know who the other is choosing. That's a good thought. I assume that maybe Taylor has to go first. And then Frankie, with the advantage, gets to pick second. All right, so now we've got Taylor and Frankie talking, deciding what's best for their games together. And Frankie saying it's Josh and X. Frankie's sending Josh. Taylor's going to be sending Xavier, supposedly. An all-male final. Taylor saying she's aligned with Josh and Xavier, and she's aligned with Brittany and Nicole. So Frankie feels like the decision's been made. Taylor looking like she's still considering. But you're all right, Karen. I don't know if they pick without knowing the other person's decision, or if one or the other has to go first. Josh and Xavier getting a little bit worried about that. Josh should be worried. I think it's a lot more obvious that he's going up with Frankie. Josh has got a lot of tattoos. I hadn't noticed that before. And now Nicole pitching to Taylor. Do what Frankie says, Lord. Yeah. Nicole saying if it's strictly a game move, she just doesn't see why Taylor would put her in as opposed to Xavier. And now she's kissing up to Taylor a little bit. Oh, and her final pitch is that she can beat Nicole better than she can beat Xavier in it. That's got to be the argument that if I'm Nicole that I'm making. The argument I'd be making if I was in the house too. Be saying, come on, yeah. Why would you put the old guy and send him home right now? Put Xavier up. He's much more of a threat. But now Xavier making his pitch to Taylor. And Xavier pointing out that she picked Nicole to be safe the first time when she had to choose between Nicole and Xavier. If she picks Xavier again and Xavier wins over Josh, which I think is possible, I just don't know that Xavier's going to still consider Taylor as being any kind of an alliance with him. I do think the line is drawn in the sand depending on what she does. Taylor talking about wanting to get at Frankie. So Xavier saying, well, keep me around so I can do it. Isn't that great? Nicole saying, keep me around because you can beat me so much easier. Xavier saying, keep me around because I can beat Frankie so much easier. And you got to get rid of him if you want to win this thing. Both valid arguments. And Taylor not wanting to betray the only other female Big Brother winner that's still in the house, or that's in the house. And here we go. Taylor said on day one, X was her weapon. She'll keep him. I think that's a very good assessment, my asses. And I do think she'll want to use them. She did it with Monty again during her season a little bit, and but we're getting ready to find out. Let's see. All right, Karen saying what's happening. Frankie and Taylor are about to make their choices. Let's see. It looks like they announced it one at a time in front of the house. Taylor looks like she has to pick first. Talk about this is an impossible decision. Taylor's getting ready to get some blood on her hands no matter what she does. She just wants to make happy memories and have new friends here. Well, there's $100,000 getting in the way of some of that, Taylor. Xavier looking very worried. Nicole looking very worried. And she has chosen to send. Oh, when they got to commercial, oh, you're killing me here, Big Brother, or Reindeer, or Santa, or whoever's running this show. So we don't know. It's a commercial. Yeah, my ass is dragging by. Yeah. So Karen, we don't know who's going up just yet. Yeah, darn commercial. I hope they charge extra for whoever these commercials are. This is Bounty Picker Upper or whoever these. Yep, the Bounty Picker Upper. Because a lot of people watching right now and wondering. All right, the suspense is just going to have to go a little bit more. Let me look up through these comments, see if anything. Ma saying my draft picks are Brittany and Nicole. All right, well, I know which way you're leaning then on this pick, don't I? That's pretty good picks, Ma. All right, let's see. Crocodile. Wow. Another good episode so far, right? I wonder, I'm sure it's the same writers and the game department and everything else that we have in the regular Big Brother season. I just feel like they've been given maybe more free reign. You think a regular season, they come in and say, okay, you got to do OTEV, you've got to do the wall. You know, we've got to do these that we do every year. Here's 3 or 4. If you want to change it up a little bit, that's fine. Come talk to us. We'll see what we do. Whereas with this, I wonder if they just came into the game design people and said, go crazy. You don't have any limitations. We're going to have, different, give us some where you have to compete together. Give us some where you compete individually. And then we'll figure out how to set everything up based on that. Yeah, there's probably people who've been sitting there saying, oh, thank God, we've been sitting there for 25 years with these ideas. And we finally get to try them out. And if I'm on Big Brother 26, I am watching every one of these competitions and paying attention to how it plays, because I expect we'll see at least 1 or 2 of these on down the road. All right, Monty King saying no tear came out of Taylor. Yeah, Taylor may have been milking the situation just a little. You don't want to seem like you're happy to pick anyone, right? I know there were times when I had to put up Mickey and Jack as an HOH. I said, pure respect. I hate to do it, but it's just because y'all are strong players. And inside, I'm thinking, it serves both of you right. Both of you loud, alpha, male, boisterous kind of guys. I'm so happy to be putting y'all up here. Didn't quite work out my HOH, but eventually worked out a little bit better. But you can't say that. You got to act like it's the saddest day that you're having to do a dirty to these guys and all that. And not so much. It's the way of the game. Get out the strong people. All right. These comps are very good. Big Brother better use them. My ass is saying, yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree with that. I hope they do. I'm going to be looking for them. Karen said I was asking what's happening because it wouldn't let me make a post. Oh, okay. I got you now. I removed the partial post. It seems to be working now. Probably. Who knows? Maybe the YouTube people are off or StreamYard or busy watching reindeer games. Who knows? But I'm glad it's working now, Karen. The Zissou saying would definitely love to see them shake it up. Supposedly new era for 26, like they did with Survivor. It'd be interesting if they really, really shook up the next season, catch everyone off guard. I'm for it. I love Big Brother, but when everyone can predict with pretty good certainty what challenge is going to be each week, that suggests it, because Survivor did the same thing. Carson knew all those challenges and when to expect. Everyone expects when the tribes are going to merge and all of that. Just keep everyone on their toes the whole time. All right, let's see if we're cutting back now. Now, we got another commercial. Lots of new seasons starting up now that the writer's strike is over. NCIS Hawaii. We got a lot of shows there, just the same show set in a lot of different locations, right? CSI used to do a lot of that. All right, here we go. Taylor making such a horrible, terrible decision. It probably is hard on this one. And she has chosen Nicole. So she's sticking with the 3-person alliance, betraying the women's alliance. All right. And so Xavier convinced her. Keep Xavier so he can take out Frankie. And now Frankie's choosing between Josh and Brittany. He's got to pick Josh. Yeah, there's no way he's going to put his two alliance members against each other. All right, so we've got Josh versus Nicole. Hanging on to those candy canes. Josh is a strong guy and all that, but there's just something that tells me that Nicole may be holding on to that peppermint candy cane just a little bit harder. But it wouldn't be the first time Josh surprised me on a comp. And Josh saying he respects the move. Well, I'm glad to see that. And now Taylor trying to cover up, do some damage control with Nicole. I don't think Nicole was going to buy that for a minute. Nicole not happy. Crying in the diary room. I don't blame her. I would not want to compete against Xavier either, because they don't know what the competition is either, right? They don't have a clue. We do. They don't. Karen said I'm about a minute ahead of Cliff. I actually slowed mine down just a little bit because I didn't want to spoil anything for y'all. I'd rather be a little behind you guys as opposed to a little ahead. All right, they've come back out. They're seeing the candy canes, I do believe. Josh and Nicole, neither one looking like they're particularly excited about this competition. Oh, yeah, they're looking like they'd rather be somewhere other than jumping up on the candy cane. Karen said, I was right. She's tiny if it's the rodeo. Nicole got this. I kind of think you may be right, Karen. Monty saying, I'm rooting for Frankie now. I hope Taylor doesn't do so well. At least Nicole gets to cry this episode. It wouldn't be Big Brother without a few tears from Nicole, right? But I don't blame her for this one. I just realized the big circle is a calendar. Yeah, Karen, I noticed that as well. Now, that's a regular candy. Oh, I'm looking on the ground to see if it's all covered up like they're going to be spraying. I don't see anywhere where you've got water or goop or anything else. So they're both hanging on. Those are hard. They're very much like the color wars that we did where we had to hold on to giant logs. At least they've got a platform to stand on. Ours, we just had to wrap our feet around and hold on with just our thigh grip. But that foam stuff gets a little tough. Now, Nicole's got an interesting strategy. She is actually walking her way around the platform she was to try to minimize the amount of rotation. But no more. It looks like they're both just spinning. And Josh talking about that his grip is getting a little tired by holding on to the little, there's some little indentations, little cutouts in these candy canes to put your hands in the grip. But he's giving that up and is trying to just grip wrist to wrist kind of deal. And Brittany thinking, thank the Lord that I'm not doing this competition. Brittany not thinking Taylor made such a great decision to put in Nicole instead of Xavier. And the two girls are going to realize, I think, that Taylor is not aligned with them, which is the problem because she's the only, the other two ladies are going to be in an alliance and she's kind of by herself against these guys. Of watching these, it feels like maybe Josh is maybe doing a little better, although We'll see. Monty saying Nicole got this. Could be. She's got to look like she's not feeling great, though. I do this. I just pretend like it was riding a bull. No different, right? Yeah, maybe a little different. I never worried about getting dizzy or sick from these kind of things. It was all just about the endurance of having to hold on. I wish we knew how long they've been going. They're not showing us the time on this thing. Oh, time elapsed 40 minutes as I mentioned that. Holding on for their life, knowing that if you fall, you go home. There's no voting out or anything. The fleece PJs aren't going to enable them to dry their hands off. Good point, Karen. Yeah, and then Noe's saying it's hard to tell who's doing better. I can't tell yet. Nicole doesn't look like she's doing great. All right, now we know why she has bruises on her head in that diary room session that she just did. See the bruise that she's got there? Are they getting tougher as time goes on, or are they just showing? Nicole just not looking like she's feeling great. Oh, Frankie says it is speeding up, and they're biking left or right. They're both holding on for dear life at this point. Josh getting spun around. Oh, Josh looking at. They both fell. Wow. We're going to go to another commercial. They're milking it for everything they can tonight. We don't know. Because of the way the edit is, there could have been a second or two between them, and we wouldn't know. They show them both fall exactly the same time. We will find out. What Ma said? What happened? I don't know, Ma. They're both gone. We're gonna have to go to the instant replay on this thing. What if it is? Now here's the question, a very technical question. Is it the first person off the candy cane platform or the candy cane pole, or is it the person who hits the ground first? It's got to be the person who hits the ground first, right? I don't know if there's a difference between the two, but we'll show. So yeah, all right. This is pretty close. Someone is gonna know that if they had held on for 1 second longer, they could still be in this game. Someone may win $100,000 and know that it's because they held on for 1 second longer than they needed to. We don't know yet. Monty sang a draw. Yeah, I think they'll figure something out on that. How mad would they be if they said, it was an absolute tie, get back on, we're going to keep on going? Yeah, they'd hate that. I don't think that's going to happen, though, especially considering we've got 5 minutes left in this show. Karen saying they both fell at the same time, but Josh hit the ground a split second before Nicole. Do y'all remember what season was it? It was with Glenn Garcia and Corey, I believe, where they were having to roll some coconuts into different little pressed areas on a ramp. And whoever was the last person to do it went home, like week 1, day 3 or something, early in the season. And it was a tiebreaker like this. Glenn and Corey were I think it was Corey. I know it was Glenn. So close, who couldn't tell. They eventually ruled that Corey had beat Glenn by just a little bit. Glenn went home. I know Glenn is still a little sour about that. Glenn still feels like it probably was the other way around. But it's tough to tell. And especially when you've got an edit like this, you just don't know. Now, when they come back, we may see that there's a pulled back edit that shows both of them falling at the same time. And then we'll be able to see. All right, here we go. Let's see if we get a better shot of this thing. Let's go to the replays. They're showing us the same. You're like maybe Josh went out a little quicker. 1 hour, 5 minutes. After over an hour at the exact same time, Brittany's amazed. Big Brother 18 Edge is saying, thank you. I knew it's somewhere back around then. Moss saying the same thing. Checking the tape. All right, now we get to see the replay. Josh. Josh is out first. There you go, guys. Now, who does that help? It's got to help Frankie, right? He saves his alliance. He's now got 3 versus 2. Taylor has burned her alliance with the women. She's got Xavier to work with her. But I really think now, does it come down to Xavier and Taylor versus the other 3? Maybe, perhaps. We'll see. So, yeah, congratulations, Nicole. Slow motion, Karen Sandy. It is amazing that it was so close that it took like that. My ass is Dragon saying comps like this advantage the smaller person. I think so. You get that momentum swinging around. All right, so now Josh gets to pick his parting present. Go, Josh. And Josh very appreciative of the opportunity, as he always is. All right, Josh, I hope you get something good. A Christmas sweater. Is that the Christmas sweater that Brittany won in season 1? That looks like it may be a little bigger than Brittany's, but hey, it's an ugly Christmas sweater. Who needs $5,000 if you get an ugly Christmas sweater? All right, so now we are down to the final 5. Poor Josh. I'm a fan of Josh. I like Josh. He's just a nice guy every time I've talked to him. He's looking around and realizing it's tough. He's around. This could be his last time in the Big Brother house. We'll see him back on Challenge. The Challenge. Poor Josh. All right, Josh. Enjoyed seeing you play. No comp wins to put on the resume, but it's all right. We'll be seeing Josh again. Maybe not in the Big Brother house. So, all right. Yeah, poor Josh. And Karen saying, yeah, he got a dead prize. Yeah, probably so. Right up there with a fruitcake or ugly sweaters. Although I'm kind of a fan of ugly sweaters. But yeah, I'd rather have $5,000 as well. Marilyn saying, I'm excited, not a Josh fan. I get it. Not everyone is. Josh is a little sloppy at times. He's just nice. He's just a nice guy, in my opinion. So I always cheer on Josh a little bit. And now Nicole, I'm telling you, I just, if I'm Taylor, and get a little bit worried now. Taylor just kind of got drug along this whole time. Frankie grabbed her into his team, which meant she had to make the kind of decision that she didn't want to make. And then it didn't go her way because the person that she put up survived. Always the worst situation in this case. One more must go before the Reindeer games. A challenge quartet reveals the final 4 names. So tomorrow night, there you have it, guys. So episode 4 in the books. We're now down to 5. Xavier, Taylor, Frankie, Nicole, and Brittany. 3 women, 2 men, 3 from one alliance, 2 from the other. It's good. There's a nice little division of power, which didn't have to be the case. You could have seen a blowout from one side from start to finish. We didn't have that happen thanks to the kind of challenges they had, just the way these things have played out, and I'm glad to see it. All right, guys. So there you go. Miss Fire saying, what did Josh get? He got an ugly sweater. It looked like the same ugly sweater that Brittany maybe had previously worn, green with a bunch of Christmas balls and all that. So he got that. Santa's Workshop is a storage room. Brian, I think Santa's Workshop is the former HOH room. Pretty sure that's the case. It's hard to tell sometimes, but yeah, there you go. Chris Lair saying, I think it's going to come down to Frankie and X. I could see that, and I'd be okay with that. I would be okay with that. I'm cheering for Brittany, but I'd be okay with Frankie and Xavier if it comes down to that. Karen saying, is there more than one $5,000 prize? There's got to be. Otherwise, you kind of lose the whole drama of picking a present. So, yeah, I expect that just like an immunity idol, once it's won or found, another one gets put back in its place. So I would expect there's a $5,000 one sitting out there somewhere. Karen saying, when is the next show? I don't know, guys. Do y'all know? I know someone posted the schedule last week and I forgot to write it down. Is it tomorrow night or because I think the finale is on Saturday or on Sunday. So it could be a Thursday night show. We're quickly checking to see where it is. Danielle picked the only one. Ma saying, was there only one? I could be. If so, then not near as much excitement when you're picking your prizes. Taylor just proved Paloma right. She is not a girl's girl. Monty King is pointing out. Yeah, I think it's funny that Paloma's name came up talking about tonight's episode, but I won't disagree with you either. All right, a finale is Thursday. Karen saying, all right, why was I thinking it's Sunday? All right, the next episode of Reindeer Games is Tuesday at 8:00 on my time, which is 9:00 for you guys on the East Coast. So there you go. All right. Oh, Ma's saying that she said no one else gets the money. Maybe I could be. Yeah, I'd be kind of a little peeved if that was the case, but whatever. They still got to play Big Brother. All right. Thursday's the finale, and then Tuesday is episode 5. All right. With that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. Thank you for watching it with me. Another great episode. We will be back again tomorrow to cover episode 5, and then Thursday for the grand finale and see who walks out the door with $100,000 worth of cocoa and chocolate balls or whatever. Guys, y'all have a great one. Until tomorrow evening, enjoy every bit of it. SKD 143. Cheers, my friends. Bye. Ho, ho, ho.